Greatsword on the first Berserker Khazan, the boinkers, the big boinks. It is a very powerful weapon, and like we already saw on a spear video, the weapons in this game rely, well, the combat system on this game relies on a skeleton of a Souls-like combat system, but then you can complement that skeleton with the overall playstyle that the weapon is going to have, and that playstyle and the moveset of the weapon is going to be determined by the skills that you are going to be choosing, and those skills are going to determine which kind of combos can you do with that weapon. In this video I'm going to show you what kind of combos, what kind of playstyle are you going to have with the weapon, what are the best skills to take early on, so that, remember, this is from the demo, so it is for you to be able to decide the overall playstyle of the weapon, so you can decide which weapon are you going to marry on your first playthrough of the first Berserker Khazan. Because remember that yes, you can respec your skills, but you cannot respec at your leisure the stat points, and the weapon scaling is very important. So you can respec the stat points, but that's a consumable that we do not know how easy it's going to be able for you to come by with that. So yeah, I'm just going to show you how this works so that you can have like an overall idea if you want to use this weapon or not. Strangely enough, it's very defensive. It not only relies on hyper armor, which then again, there are two playstyles in here. One is going to be very defensive, one is going to be with the deflect and the dodging and things like that, and there's also the tanky one. Remember that the Greatswords actually, they scale out of strength, and you can see right here that the strength scaling it's on B. And strength is going to give you also the maximum weight capacity. So naturally, greatswords are heavy weapons and they are going to be used with heavy armor, so that you can withstand a little bit more punishment whenever you are receiving damage and whenever you do need to sustain that poise to be able to be trading blows with the enemy. So that's one very cool playstyle that you can adapt with the greatswords. That being said, talking about the skill trees, you have the basic ones, for example right here, the command ones, the ones that you assign to a specific input, the spirit skills, and they are used. This spirit meter. Have in mind as well that these are not going to be an inherent part of the combos. You can, for example, start using your combos and then finish with a spirit skill, or use the spirit skills at your leisure, but they are not going to be connected per se to your combos. So the combos, it's what interests us, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Just have in mind as well that we have these two categories in here, that each of them are going to be, for example, here if you are more of a dodger, here if you are more of a parrier kind of character, or playstyle like Sekiro, and kind of like Bloodborne that you have in here. This is going to allow you to do a dodge attack, but also we have Helm Break. There's a very cool combo that we are going to have later on that it is going to require this one. As well, the stamina dodge, the decrease the stamina cost for dodging. The stamina is very important in this game because it allows you to complete more longer and more complicated combos. So that's very important. And then we have the guard, which is going to deal damage every time that you deflect or that you parry an enemy. That's very useful. And then also the armor breaker, that it's going to allow you to immediately press X after a normal guard or bring guard. This is going to be able to be comboed into the next combos that I'm going to be showing you for the weapons, for the weapon. So that being said, let's start with the most basic combos and the skills that I need for me to be able to perform those combos. First, we are going to have Manifest of Power. This is not part of the combo, but it is going to enhance the first combo that we are going to have. And then we are going to have Overwhelm. Overwhelm, basically what you do in here is that you finish a basic attack combo, and then you finish up the charge attack, the heavy attack. It's going to charge faster, it's going to deal more damage. Then again, remember that you are going to decide to use either or. You cannot have like two of them, because you for example are going to have like Mortal Blow or Overwhelm. Mortal Blow, what it does is that every time that you do a swift attack, or a basic attack, it's going to transform into this very, very powerful blow that does not require to be charged, and that is going to have this flashy animation, but it's going to be instant. So it's not going to allow you to perform an overwhelm because it requires the Y input for you to be able to do them. So any of these combos that I'm going to show you right now, it's going to be up to your personal preference if you want to be using them with Mortal Blow or with Overwhelm. However, for this particular one that I'm going to show you right now, it's going to be Manifest of Power to furthermore enhance the Overwhelm that we have right here. And basically, the combo is X, 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 and then you hold Y. This is somewhat unsafe. You do need a little bit of poise in here because it requires for you to commit to the combo. To get the full amount of damage in here, it's very important for you to have that. Something very powerful that you can have with this combo, it's the Unbreakable Skills, the Heat of Battle, which is going to increase the poise and decrease the damage taken while you are attacking. And since this is a very, very long attack, that's something that you can be doing. On the other hand, we also have Indomitable, which when taking damage while attacking, increase the damage of the ongoing attack and gain spirit. And as a matter of fact, these guys are going to be a must for every single combo that I am going to show you right now. Have in mind that there is a delay between the attack animation when you are going to have that extra poise and the wind up of the weapon. So when you are winding up the weapon, you don't have that much poise, and that's going to be true, for example, when you are charging, like for example, a Manifest of Power. As soon as you see that the weapon turns red, that's when you're going to have the hyper armor, but prior to that, you are still vulnerable, and while you are mid the attack animation, that's when you have the hyper armor. But while you're not, that's when you are vulnerable. So that's something to have in mind as well. And then we have the Mortal Blow combo. This basically, it's going to allow you to perform that heavy, very, very heavy boinker at the end of every swift attack, and that's going to be instant, nearly instant, and as you can see, it's very, very fast. This allows you to control when do you want to throw in that final attack so that you don't actually have to commit to the full animation of the combo. But yes, the inputs in here are going to be XY, XXY, or XXXY, depending on how much time do you see that the enemy is giving you, depending on how much leniency do you know that you have for you to be able to attack or not. So this is very, very powerful. However, another very powerful combination on here as well, and that is going to give you like infinite hyper armor, and that's actually one of my favorite, is when you combine Savage Momentum as well with Mortal Blow. Savage Momentum, what it does is that it enables your swift attacks to be charged. So the inputs in here are very simple. You hold a swift attack, you hold X and then Y, and then you continue to do so until you run out of stamina. This is very powerful because, as you can see right here, most of the time, if not all of the time, you do have hyper armor because you're always on the attack animation. The charge attack for a swift attack is much, much faster than the one for a heavy attack. The only downside that I would see about this combo is that it requires too much stamina. So you do have to be using quite a bit of stamina. Remember that on gear, you can also have extra stamina from gear, so that's something that you can be building on. And as a matter of fact, yes, I think that stamina is going to be meta in here because there's some combos that you're not going to be able to do unless you have the exact amount of stamina. So yes, I think that that's going to be something very important in here. And the other downside in here is that it's not that movable. Like, your character is not moving forward that much, so you are going to be stuck in there for a little while. And if the enemy is too far away from you, or you're pushing away the enemy from you with your attacks, you're not going to be able to follow up that much. So this is something that it's going to be more useful when you're pinpoint blank to the enemy, or when there's a wall behind your enemy, because since your attacks are so heavy and so savage that you're always going to be pushing him back. So that's something to have in mind as well. And then finally, one of the most important combos that I think that you're going to have in your arsenal, it's going to be the combo with the Helm Break. It basically allows you to charge either, this can be done with either X or Y, it doesn't matter. The only condition that needs to be met in here for you to be able to start this combo is that you have to be either running, dodging, or deflecting the enemy. And when I mean deflect is that when you dodge, you have a perfect dodge. So I'm going to have a couple of different inputs for you right here, as well as a couple of different showcases, because there are some instances that this is going to be very powerful. You are going to have hyper armor while you have this animation. And basically, the input is one of the three that I'm showing you down here. You run, you hold X or Y, and then you continue with the XXXY combo, or you dodge and then you hold X or Y, XXXY, or you do a perfect dodge, and then after the perfect dodge, you hold either X or Y, and then XXXY. And remember that it doesn't necessarily have to be like the XXXY. This is only because since this deals so much staggered damage that it's going to be pushing the enemy so much, and you have hyper armor, this is one of the biggest damaging combos that you can pair this up in here. But if you, for example, want to be pairing it with Mortal Blow as well to cut the combo in between whenever you feel that you want to cut the combo, then that's something that you can do as well. I just think that it synergizes a little bit more with the Overwhelm. It is also very important to mention that this is an excellent combo to pair with an enemy is attacking you frenetically, because if you do a perfect dodge, you are going to, more often than not, because of how much poise stagger damage this attack does, the jumping attack does, you are going to be able to use the hyper armor of the jumping attack and then interrupt the enemy and then continue with your own combo that it's going to be able to go through, because more often than not the enemy is going to be staggered. So yes, this is basically how the Great Big Boink sword works. It's very, very powerful. It's very fun. There's a lot of combos. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do in here with the hyper armor and the skills that you have in here. So that's kind of the playstyle that you're going to have with this weapon. Anyways, if you like the content, you never super appreciate it. No still you there, you go to just a beautiful person. You're in the day, go just a beautiful, beautiful person. Subscribe to the channel. You're in the Discord. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.